There is a woman in Kyoto who has lived in the same small apartment for 30 years. You could count her belongings in an afternoon. A few plates stacked in a cupboard you could close with one hand. 2 sweaters for winter, 2 for summer, folded the same way each time. A single teapot, chipped on one side, that she has used since she was 26 and refuses to replace because the chip is where her thumb goes now. She has never bought a bigger closet. She has never needed one. Her home isn't small because she can't afford more. It's small because she stopped believing more was the point. Now picture the version of this most of us actually live. A garage you can't park in. A drawer that won't close without you leaning on it. A closet with tags still on half of what's inside it. Bought for a version of yourself that hasn't shown up yet. We didn't set out to live this way. Nobody plans a cluttered life, an exhausted body, a home that feels like a second job. We just kept buying, a little at a time, reaching for something outside ourselves to fix something that was never really about what we owned. And the buying became the problem it was supposed to solve. By the end of this video, you'll know the 15 things people in Japan quietly never buy, and the older, calmer reasoning sitting underneath each one. Some of these will be obvious the moment you hear them. A few will sting a little, and they're supposed to. Number 9 is the one almost nobody expects, the one that has nothing to do with willpower at all. And number 14 might be the one you needed to hear today, whether you were ready for it or not. Here's the belief we're starting with, because most of us hold it without ever once examining it. That the good life is the accumulated life. More options in the closet, more gadgets in the drawer, more stuff standing between you and boredom, or discomfort, or a bad afternoon. Buy the thing, feel better for an hour, repeat. And for an enormous number of people, that belief simply doesn't hold up under its own weight. Not because you lack discipline, not because you're bad at minimalism, or bad at follow-through, or bad at any of the things we quietly blame ourselves for. It's because nobody ever showed you the other way of thinking. Nobody handed you the alternative. So let's look at it, one small thing at a time. The bigger storage bin. You know the one. Your closet gets tight, the shelf won't hold what you're asking it to hold, so instead of asking what's actually inside it, you go buy a container to hold more of it. It feels like progress. There's a small hit of relief the moment you bring it home, empty and promising. It is not progress. It's just the same problem, filed under a lid, taking up floor space now instead of shelf space. In Japan, there's a word for the opposite instinct, danshari. It's built from 3 separate ideas stitched together. Refuse what you don't need, dispose of what's excess, separate yourself from the attachment underneath it. Not organize better, not contain it more efficiently, let go of it. A cluttered home isn't a storage problem, and it was never a storage problem. Psychologists studying home environments have linked visual clutter to elevated cortisol, particularly among women managing a household's day-to-day upkeep. The brain reads a full room the way it reads an unfinished task list. Low grade, constant, never quite resolved, humming under everything else you're trying to think about. The shift. Before you buy the bin, take one bag out, every single time. Let the emptying come first. That message matters because it sets up the next one, which is about a very different kind of clutter, the kind we carry on our own face. The cream that promises to erase every line. Look at the label next time you're standing in that aisle under the fluorescent light. Erase, reverse, undo the years, restore what time took. It's a strange thing to promise a person. That time spent living, actually living, should be hidden, corrected, quietly apologized for on your behalf. Wabi-sabi is the Japanese sense of beauty rooted in the imperfect, the incomplete, the visibly aged. A cracked bowl, mended with gold instead of thrown away. The crack itself made into the most beautiful part of the object. A wrinkle isn't a flaw in that frame. It's evidence you were here. Western researchers studying self-perception have found something similar happening in the mind. People who describe their own aging in resistant, adversarial terms, fighting it, losing to it, holding it off, report lower life satisfaction over time than people who describe it as something simply happening, unfolding, arriving on schedule. The shift. Buy the moisturizer if it makes your skin feel good today. Skip the one that's quietly selling you a war with your own face. The white noise machine. We fill a quiet room with a machine that manufactures fake ocean sounds, static rain, a soft electronic hush, because actual quiet has started to feel unbearable somewhere along the way. Seijaku is the stillness woven through traditional Japanese aesthetics. Not emptiness exactly, but a kind of alert calm. The particular quiet in a garden right before something happens. The pause that still has attention in it. Sleep researchers have found that true environmental silence, not masked silence layered over the room, correlates with deeper time spent in slow-wave sleep for a meaningful number of people. The machine isn't dangerous, and nobody's asking you to throw it away tonight. It's just a workaround for a skill that a lot of us never actually practiced, sitting in quiet without needing to escape it. The shift. One night this week, turn it off. Lie there. See what's actually in the silence when you stop drowning it out. The fitness tracker that turns walking into a competition with yourself. Every step becomes a number scrolling somewhere on your wrist. Did you hit 10,000? Did you close the ring? Is today better than yesterday? Worse than Tuesday? On pace for the week? Somewhere in there, walking stopped being a thing you did for its own sake and quietly became a thing you owed. A debt you paid off one buzzing notification at a time. Sampo just means a walk, taken for its own sake. No destination required, no metric attached, no verdict waiting at the end of it. Andrew Huberman has spoken about the effect of unstructured, goal-free walking on mood regulation, separate entirely from its cardiovascular benefit, almost a different mechanism altogether. The nervous system settles differently when there's no target attached to the movement, when the body isn't performing for a number. The shift. Leave the phone at home once this week. Just walk until you feel like turning around, and let that feeling, not a distance goal, be the only thing deciding when you're done. The protein bar standing in for a meal. Fast, dense, engineered down to the gram, eaten standing at a counter or in a car between two other things. And also, quietly, a signal to your body that food is a task to be completed rather than something to sit with, taste, and actually finish. Washoku, Japan's traditional way of eating, is built on small variety. A little rice, a little fish, a little something pickled, a little something green, arranged in small separate portions rather than one large plate of one thing. Eaten slowly, usually with other people, usually without a screen in the mix. Circadian researcher Sachin Panda's work has linked meal timing and structure, not just what's on the plate, to a range of metabolic outcomes. When you eat, and how much attention you bring to it, appears to matter almost as much as what you're eating. The shift isn't swapping the ingredients for something more virtuous. It's the 15 minutes you actually give it, sitting down, plate in front of you, nothing else demanding your attention at the same time. The stack of self-help books you haven't opened. Slow down here, because this one might sting a little more than the others. Buying the book feels almost like doing the thing the book describes. The purchase itself carries a small dose of the relief you were hoping the reading would bring, and so the reading keeps getting postponed, because some of the itch is already scratched. There's a term, tsundoku, for the pile of unread books that grows on a nightstand or a shelf, and in Japan it isn't spoken about with the shame it usually carries here. It's spoken almost fondly, as a private, ongoing relationship with future reading. No deadline attached, no guilt required. The shame we attach to it is entirely ours, imported, not inherited from anywhere useful. The shift. Pick one book already sitting on your shelf. Read 10 pages of it tonight instead of adding a new one to the pile. The couch you replace at the first sign of wear. A little sag in the middle cushion, a little fade where the afternoon light hits it, and it starts to register in your mind as old instead of used, which are not the same word even though we treat them as interchangeable. Wabi-sabi again, because it keeps showing up once you start looking for it in daily life. The honest wear of an object is part of its character, not a defect that needs correcting. The shift. Before you replace it, ask what it would actually take to repair it. Reupholster the cushion, tighten the frame. Often, it's far less money and far less effort than starting over. The air freshener for a room that just needs air. We spray a synthetic version of outside into a stale space instead of opening the window and getting the actual thing it's imitating. Shinrin-yoku, forest bathing, is the practice of spending unhurried time among trees. No destination, no exercise goal, just presence. It has one of the better supported research bases of any concept on this list. Measurable drops in cortisol and in blood pressure after even 20 minutes spent among trees. A finding that's been replicated across a number of separate studies, not just claimed once and repeated. The shift. Open the window before you reach for the can. Then, once this week, go stand under an actual tree for 10 minutes and do nothing else while you're there. The productivity app promising to finally fix your habits. Here's the one almost nobody expects on a list like this. The app isn't the problem, and there's nothing wrong with using one. The hunt for the next app, the endless search for the system that will finally make this easy, is the problem. Kaizen means continuous, small improvement, and the part most people quietly skip is how small it's actually supposed to be. Smaller than feels meaningful. Small enough that you genuinely can't talk yourself out of doing it. Not a new system downloaded on a Sunday night. 1% repeated, mostly unnoticed until months later. The shift. Pick the smallest possible version of the habit you want. Not the ideal version you describe to someone else. The version so small it's almost embarrassing to say out loud. Do that one, and only that one for now. The decorative doormat that never gets used as an actual threshold. We buy something cute for the front step, a little seasonal welcome mat, and then walk straight across it, shoes and stress and the whole day still clinging to us, into the middle of the house without pausing at all. Genkan is the entryway in a Japanese home. A small sunken step where shoes come off and, symbolically, the outside world is asked to stay outside. It's a physical boundary, low to the ground, between out there and in here. And the ritual of pausing there does real work on the nervous system, even before you've named what you're leaving behind. The shift. Pick a literal spot by your own door. Every time you walk through it, name one thing from the day you're choosing to leave on the other side, out loud or silently, before you go any further inside. The extra takeout you order because the fridge felt empty when it wasn't. This one is quiet, easy to miss, and it adds up more than almost anything else on this list, month after month, without you ever really noticing the total. Mottainai is regret over waste, not guilt exactly. More a felt sense that something useful is being thrown away or overlooked before its use has actually run out. Households that lean into a mottainai mindset around food have been linked in several surveys to both lower grocery spending and, somewhat unexpectedly, less mealtime stress overall. There's less decision fatigue when the question you're asking is, what do we already have, instead of, what do we feel like wanting? The shift. Before you order in tonight, actually open the fridge and look. Not a glance on your way past it. A real look, drawer by drawer. The inspirational quote about purpose you hang on the wall, instead of the practice that would actually give you one. Follow your passion, in a nice frame, hung above a life that doesn't currently have room in it for anything close to that. Ikigai is your reason for getting up in the morning, and in the way it's actually used day to day in Japan, it's rarely one big dramatic purpose. It's often small and specific. A garden that needs tending, a grandchild on a Tuesday, a regular walk with a particular neighbor at a particular hour. The framed quote skips the part where you actually go looking for yours, small as it might turn out to be. The shift. Write down one small specific thing that made this past week worth getting up for. Not your job title, not a mission statement, the actual thing. The extra throw pillows and decorative clutter that make a room feel finished. More texture, more layers, more surfaces quietly demanding a little bit of attention. Until the room is technically decorated and somehow still exhausting to sit in for more than a few minutes. Ma is the deliberate empty space woven through Japanese design and music. The pause between notes that makes the notes mean something. The blank wall left blank on purpose instead of filled out of habit. Emptiness in that tradition isn't unfinished. It's doing something, actively, the same way a rest in a piece of music is still part of the music. The shift. Pick one surface in your home, a shelf, a corner of a table, and leave it empty. Just empty, nothing added. See how the room around it starts to feel different. The subscription you keep paying for because canceling it feels like admitting defeat. The streaming service you haven't opened in months. The app you downloaded once with real intention. The gym membership you haven't used since spring, still quietly withdrawing from your account every 30 days. It sits there, a small monthly reminder of a version of yourself you meant to become and, for whatever reason, didn't. This is Dan Shari again, and it's the one I genuinely ask you to pause on before moving to the next. Letting go of a thing isn't the same as failing at it. It's recognizing, honestly, that you're not that person right now, and that this is allowed, without a story attached to it. The shift. Cancel one thing this week. Just one. Notice what you actually feel in the moment you do it. The orthopedic pillow promising the perfect night's sleep, bought at 11 at night after another bad one, half asleep already, scrolling reviews. We keep buying our way toward rest instead of making the actual room for it in how the evening is structured. One more time. The pause you build into your evening, not the object you buy to compensate for not having one. A 90-minute wind down with no screen involved does more for how easily sleep arrives than almost any pillow ever could, according to sleep researchers who've studied blue light and pre-sleep arousal for a long time now, across a wide range of populations. The shift: build the gap before you buy the gadget. See if you still need the gadget once the gap is actually there. Here's the whole thing laid out together in the order it's meant to work. One bag out before the new bin comes in. The wrinkle left alone. The room left quiet some nights, on purpose. The walk with nowhere in particular to be. The meal eaten slowly, sitting down. The book already on the shelf, opened instead of added to. The couch repaired instead of replaced. The window opened before the can is ever sprayed. The habit shrunk down to almost nothing, so small it's easy to keep. The shoes off at the door, and the day itself left there with them. The fridge actually looked into, drawer by drawer. The small, specific thing written down, honestly. The shelf left bare on purpose. The subscription let go of, without a story attached to it. The gap built in before the gadget is bought to fill it. None of it costs very much. None of it requires more willpower than you already have sitting there, unused, waiting for the right place to put it. It was never about willpower. It was about what we were taught to reach for first, over and over, until reaching became the whole habit. So tonight, do one thing. Just one. Pick the item on this list that made you a little uncomfortable to hear, the one you recognized a bit too quickly, and do the opposite of buying. Cancel it. Repair it. Leave the shelf bare. Take the 10-minute walk with your phone left behind. Just the one thing. Tonight. Nothing more than that. Not a prescription, a perspective. If this found you at the right moment, consider staying around for the next one. And tell me in the comments, which number were you looking at while I said it?